and Assalamualaikum. We're from Group 2. Today we'll be presenting for ECO120 and our topic will be demand. Hi, my name is Elis.
Hi, I'm Aisyah.
Hi, my name is Yana.
Hi, I'm Amira.
Okay, what about law of demand? So, law of demand states that the higher the price of a product, the lower the quantity demanded of that product, and vice versa, which means the lower the price of a product and the higher the quantity demanded of that product. Okay, this we can say it is a negative relationship exists. So we can prove that with look at this table. We can see that the price of a product is decreased while the quantity demanded of that product is increased. This is shown at the demand curve. When the demand curve is sloped downward due to the inverse relationship, the negative relationship, so the curve will be decreased, will be negative. So yeah. Okay, so what about the individual demand and market demand? Okay, individual demand, as we can see here, the relationship between the quantity of a product demanded by a single individual and its price, which means relationship between the quantity of product demand by a single buyer and its price. Single individual same to single buyer. And while the market demand is relationship between total quantity of product demand by all consumers in the market and its price. All consumers, which mean all buyers. So the relationship between total quantity of product demand by all buyers in the market and its price. So market demand is equal to the sum of the individual demand, which means individual we have individual demand 1 plus individual demand 2 plus individual demand 3 is equal to the market demand.
Okay, now I will continue on factors affecting demand. There are 8 factors that affect the demand. The first one is the price of related goods. There are 2 types of goods, which is substitute goods and complementary goods. Substitute goods is a goods or service that can be used in the place of another product or service. When the price of good A is increased, it will push the quantity demand for good B increase rapidly. Let's say we have pizza and burger. So if the price of pizza is increased, the quantity demand for burger will increase. For the complementary good is a goods that can be used in conjunction with another product. When the price of good A is increased, it will push up the quantity demand for good B to decrease. For example, we have car and petrol. If the price of car is increased, the quantity demand for petrol will decrease. Okay, the second factor that affect the demand is income. When the incomes for the consumer is higher, the quantity demand for normal and luxury goods will increase and vice versa. Okay, for normal goods, if income is increased, the demand for normal goods will be increased too. For luxury goods, if income is increased, the demand for luxury goods will also be increased. And the inferior goods, if income is increased, the demand for inferior goods will be decreased. The next factor is taste and preference. When the consumer prefers to choose from good A to good B, automatically the quantity demands for good B will be increased. For example, a consumer changed their favorite smartphone brand from iPhone to Huawei due to Huawei has better camera features. Thus, it will increase the quantity demanded for Huawei smartphone. Next, we have festive seasons. During festive seasons, different products will be in high demand. For example, in Hari Raya festivities, the demands for lemang will be increased. Another example is Chinese New Year. The demand for Mandarin oranges will be increased too. Okay, next we go to the size of population. When market size increase, the quantity demanded for the good will increase. For example, the population in City J is increased, quantity demanded for entertainment, healthcare, mobility, and so on will increase too. Next, we have consumer expectation. When the consumer expects the price for that good will increase, the quantity demanded at the present time will increase. For example, if consumer expect the price of house increase in the future, the quantity demanded of house will increase now. Okay, another factor that affect the demand is level of taxation, which is the higher the taxes, the lower the purchasing power of consumers and vice versa. For example, if the government reduce income tax by 8%, consumers will have more money to spend on goods and services. And the last one is supply of money in circulation. The larger supply of money in circulation, the greater the demand for goods and services.
Assalamualaikum and hi. I will now be continuing on the change in quantity demand versus the change in demand. First, we get into the meaning. The meaning for change in quantity demanded, it occurs when price of product changes, and that is a movement along demand curve, such as variables. And the meaning for change in demand is it occurs when other factors changes, but the price of product remain constant and the demand curve shift. To understand better, we will look through the graph to the curve. So first we have the change in quantity demanded, where it happened to be a movement along demanded curve. You see this is the demand curve, so it either move upwards or move downwards. It occurs when the price of product changes but other factors remain constant. So the graph is plotted price against quantity. So to relate better with the upwards movement and the decrease in quantity demand, we take this one as an example. From B to A, there is an upward movement and a decrease in quantity demand. Decrease in quantity demand, how to prove? So you see, when the price is 20, quantity is 10. However, when the price is 30, quantity is 5. So that means there is a decrease. I'm sorry. 1 second, let me just get the right color. So that means from here there is a decrease in quantity. And then next, for the downward movement, and the increase in quantity demand, we'll use green color. Okay, downward movement from B to C, and it says increase in quantity demand. Let's take example, take a look. Price 20, quantity 10. Price 10, quantity 15. So it's clearly proven that the quantity is also increasing. So it also proven that downward movement happen to be increase in quantity demand. So both proven. And for this action, for the upwards movement and decrease in quantity demand action is called contraction. And for the downward movement, increase in quantity demand is called expansion. Okay, we will get next into the change in demand. The change in demand is explained as a shift in demand curve. Why do we say so? Because the curve shifts to the left and also to the right. Okay, so it occurs when there are changes in other factors while the price of product remain constant. So let's see first one, increase in demand. It moves from DO to D1. So the demand curve is actually shifting to the right. What are the factors causing the shift? Is price of substitute good increase, price of complement good increase, income increase, expected future increase, number of buyers increase. To relate better, we take the number of buyers. For example, when there are more buyers in your company for your product, when there are more buyers for your product, you will tend to produce more. So that's why the demand quantity for your product will increase. So that's why there is an increase in demand when the number of buyers increase. And then for decrease in demand curve over here, from D1 to DO over here, we see that the demand curve is actually shifting to the left. So what are the factors? The factors will be price of substitute good decrease, price of complement good increase, income decrease, expected future price decrease, number of buyers decrease. So let's take a look on the income decrease. Why is your demand decrease when income decrease? That means people with lower income will find it harder to purchase your product when your product is at a certain price. For example, people's income are usually 1,500 basic. So when you set your price at 100 ringgit per product, so you times, if they need to use it frequently, times by 10, they couldn't afford to buy them. They will run out of budget. So in that case, that's why the demand curve is decreasing. Okay, I hope you guys will understand. That will be it for my part, and thank you.